Hi, everybody. Welcome back to a special episode of Ship It and Sip It. I'm really happy to have Igor Krasnik back on the show. Igor, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Feeling a bit nervous about the interview. Was taking a few minutes before I joined, just to relax a bit. But other than that, everything's cool.
Awesome. Well, by way of introduction, Igor was our very first guest on Ship It and Sip It, and I want to thank him especially for supporting the idea of the show, being the first guest, and also reaching out to a lot of really wonderful people that have joined the show since then. And we're almost at 50 episodes now, and I'm really happy to have you back. That was nearly 2 years ago, and a lot has happened since then. So today we're going to talk about your startup, Momentum, and your experience building public, both as the CTO of Paralect and as the founder of Momentum. So I'm really excited.
And a lot of watermelon things. And by the way, today I'm sipping Georgian water. I'm in Georgia, and Nabiglavi is my sip of choice today.
So. Awesome. I'm having coffee. I always find that Georgian mineral water is very sulfuric. It's got that really rotten egg kit.
Yeah, right. But this one is kind of regular water. So
okay. I like it. All right. So, of course, in our traditional way of starting, what have you shipped recently that you can tell us about?
Oh, that's actually an interesting story because my last few weeks were very non-productive, and I feel guilty about that. But so that's the truth of the story, that you're not always like super productive and super efficient as you would wish to. Yeah, so I've got some illness. I don't know. So I was sick during the last week, and I was really low energy. My brain refused to generate creative ideas. I just didn't want to do anything. So my last few weeks were pretty productive. And I found that I really nervous that I haven't created anything in a long time, and I need to change that. But anyway, a lot of things are coming, and yesterday we discussed with Victoria, who running our bootcamp, some ideas. So I think we have tough deadlines with Momentum, so it will bring me back to life.
Awesome. Well, you've been teasing some redesigns, at least, that Larry was working on. The new design looks really cool. Yeah, when's that going to come out, do you think?
Yes, I think it's there next week or so, and it's not just a redesign, so I think it's more repositioning. So we have found out something about ourselves, and now we're ready to reposition to say what we're actually building. But yeah, it will be done along with the redesign and kind of in process. Yes,
cool.
I know where to start.
Yeah. All right, so let's start, I guess, back at the beginning, sort of. Ever since you first came on the show almost 2 years ago, you've been really an advocate of building in public. And I want to know, what was the spark or the sparks that really got you into this? Because I remember you were a colleague before that, and you just sort of, you were very into coding. You were very busy with a project here that was very important to Paralect, and you didn't write on Twitter, you didn't post on LinkedIn. So what sort of got the ball rolling for you?
Okay. Yeah, it's again, it's tough deadlines and tasks that seemed impossible. And I started when we were preparing for our first accelerator batch. And we didn't know a lot about marketing at this point. We didn't have a marketing team, but really wanted this program to start. So I was one who was searching for 2 founders to join the accelerator program and to build their products in exchange to equity, which was also new for us. So I didn't know about the accelerators, I didn't know about equity, I didn't know about the safe agreements. So it was very nervous. But we had deadlines. We needed to start before summer because it's also united with other program. So deadlines helps to translate this stress into something useful. So I recorded my first video to promote Accelerator, and it actually helped to get us a very promising startup, Nudge, with whom we're still working after Accelerator. So it's already worked. I started writing in Notion in my personal blog. I started to try to understand Twitter and LinkedIn. So this Accelerator launch was the reason why I started that, and the gains that I get from that keep me continue doing that. So I think it's a wonderful way to grow personally and to launch products and so on.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's been really interesting to follow your progress as you've published more and shared more of what you know with the wider world and with all of us. But I noticed sort of a distinct change when you started working on and launching Momentum, that you seemed to ramp it up because now you had like your baby that you wanted to share with the world, right? So was there something different about sharing sort of quote just CTO stuff versus sharing about Momentum that really made it more important, more engaging for you?
Yeah, I think Momentum definitely made it more engaging and let me create more engaging content for others and to publish my more wiser philosophical thoughts about the industry and so on. But I would say that it's always helpful to have some project when you're creating content because if you have project, you can write about it. It will. When you got this point, when you can write about it, about your daily work, it becomes much more easier. So basically, you're not creating, you just journaling what you done today, what you're going to do tomorrow, and so on. And I catch this wave a couple of times. So Accelerator is one of that waves because you have deadline, you have this process, you need to select the founders, you need to learn new things. So it all happens in the same time, and you have a lot of things to write about it. Then Startup Summer is also the projects that can be described a lot, like why we do it, why we think it's the right way to educate developers, what we think about development at all. So it's another fun project with a lot of people, with a lot of things that created during it that I can publish. So I generally just took screenshots of websites, and it's already beautiful content. And Momentum. Yeah, it's kind of 10x all these experiences because it's itself the product about building in public, so it's very organical that I implement my knowledge about building public into something digital digital and it looks fun.
Awesome. What are some of your big takeaways from the experience so far? What did you win by building in public? Was it connections with like-minded people? Was it users? Was it revenue?
Yeah, no, by the way, I don't have revenue now, but last week I received a tweet from some guy hey, where do I pay? You don't have paywall, please notify me when you will have paywall. I will pay for you. I will pay for a lifetime deal. So it's really great. Yeah, so the question was again
what are your main takeaways from 2 years of building in public?
Okay, so first of all, it's showing what you think every day to the audience is a great experience and so on, because it shows that some of your thought that you thought that were valuable, interesting, that you were afraid to share. You just posted them and they go nowhere. Nobody likes it. Nobody cares about it. And you think, shit, I thought it's a genius idea. But on the other side, because I need to post every day, sometimes I post kind of things that I don't like personally. But when I post them, they become popular. And when they become popular and liked, I already think it was good enough. Yeah. So the takeaway that we're really biased and we don't know what's good, what's not. So it's all subjective. So the only way to understand this is to communicate to real people. And social media is a wonderful way to connect with people, to communicate with them without wasting a lot of time social media allows you to connect with people that are far away from you, or they probably work at some like cool projects that you thought you would never join, but you can just I don't know, like send a message to a person and just jump on the call. And I got some friends from Twitter that I was meeting on the calls, and also from India worldwide community, which is great. And it allowed me to meet wonderful people, feel more relaxed on the calls, understand our like strong points and weak points. Because again, I was thinking that I don't know, something that we're building in Paralect is great. This is not so great, but I found out that people think differently. So they think that this small thing is very important. So only because of these calls and talking to real people, I know this. Otherwise, I would just think, I would believe my own thoughts, which is not cool. To wrap it up, so my biggest takeaway from creating content daily is that you just become more confident because you validate your thoughts a lot with other people. So it's not in your head. You already got some feedback from people, and you get some confidence to move forward.
Awesome. And I guess you've mentioned a few challenges of it, but for you, what is the most challenging thing about it, building in public?
I think it's about like the periods like this when I'm low energy. I didn't create anything. I failed with something. I didn't do anything helpful or useful on my PM. And that's the days when you just want to quit. Just want to stay in bed forever. You don't like the weather outside and so on. So that's but once you live through these periods, it's when you become more powerful. If you quit, you lose an opportunity to learn again. So that's I learned a lot of discipline because of this. I wasn't a disciplined person, but now I'm more disciplined.
Awesome. You mentioned there earlier a couple of the communities and platforms that you've really met people through. I wanted to ask, you seem to have tried very many. You've had a little bit of a history with the startups Reddit, and you've been on Indie Hackers and other places. So what platforms have you sort of found very helpful, found a good community, and which ones have you tried and said, okay, this isn't for me?
Okay. Yeah, I think... it's all different. So I think that there is no one platform fits everyone. So everyone should search for the best fit for them. Heard it's called content person fit or something. I know content platform fit, right? So you can look for your own. But my favorite is a social network is Twitter. Because I find a lot of interesting people there, and it's easy to connect with them. Also, I use Indie Hackers and Reddit to post articles ideas and to validate articles. I found my content platform feed on Reddit because my articles went viral there a couple times. But also they banned me there, and I need to unban quicker, but it's a good way to validate article idea, or rather get a lot of hate and understand that it's not validated. But Reddit is great for big traffic to check your article. So basically, a lot of people will see your article, a lot of people will comment, but you won't be able to sell or promote there. It's really difficult. It's better to do through comments and stuff. So it's rather the way to validate ideas and to see that it's interesting for a wide range of people. On Indie Hackers, the traffic is not big, but the community of people is great. So they are pretty active. They are trying to help, trying to get their articles on the tops. So you can ask a quick question and get some answer there. So it's a good general purpose community related to building products, and it mostly like coders there, so people who can code but learn marketing. So it's kind of people like me. But when I create a product like Momentum is more like for non-technical people, I got some comments like, "Hey, we are technical. Like here, it won't be so useful for us." Something like this. But Indicaker is great to also validate articles and to ask questions. And one full community that it's a paid community, but it's great. It's indie worldwide, and I think we'll add more people from Paralec there. And one wonderful thing that they do is that they will match you with other founder every week. So basically, you will have at least one call a week with other founders, and that's basically a Slack channel where you can connect with other founders at any time. And today I will have a call with one guy from there. Let's give a shout out, Saeed Mahit, and he will train me like a lead generation tactics and stuff. And it's all for free because just I asked who knows some agencies, and he said that I know this stuff. I can teach you. So let's see how it goes. So
Very cool.
Yeah, Indie Worldwide recommended as a paid community.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the bootcamp. The first batch we just wrapped up, and you, along with Victoria and Chris, made building in public a central part of the program, the requirements, what we wanted the founders to do, and a lot of them did that, and they succeeded through the 4 weeks of the bootcamp, and they used Momentum to help them do that as well. So, I guess let's start with why. Why did we make building in public the central sort of tenet of the bootcamp program?
Well, yeah, there is a lot of explanation. We can discuss all of them, different angles in details. But to keep it really like simple, it's a very simple way for us to see how good the founder is. I know how to say this, how they active, how they think, how they approach problems, what goals do they have, how they meet with people, and what decision they make. So basically we asked to open source their lives, the decision process, so we can see how they think, operate. But not only we, it's not for us, it's more for them. The way how we show it is basically send an investor updates even before you have investors. So just get used to have goals, get used to report, get used to move quick and so on. And for us, it's a way to monitor the progress of founders. And we think it's a great process, and we will implement it more and more in Momentum, make it more convenient to use. Because it's cool, it allows other people to learn, it allows other people to follow, and it grows your audience and your product, which is great. So I think that's the primary reason.
For sure. And I was, frankly, really impressed with the results for some of the guys, like the guys from the Mind startup, Chris and Joe. They ran a fake door test through their sign-up sheet on Momentum, and they got over 100,000 pounds that people were committed. They hadn't actually paid, but they had committed to the idea. Sam from PT Fitness had almost 200 on his waiting list by the end of the 4 weeks. So really good results from a lot of the people in the program. So bravo.
I agree. Yeah, bravo to the founders. I was happy to support and fix some bugs along the process, but bravo to the founders.
For sure. So that was really, I guess, was that the first sort of hard test run for Momentum, the page builder and the feed? And what kind of feedback did you get through the process?
Yes, it was the first actual test, and it was once again this scary deadline because we had bootcamp, we had a fixed date, and I understood that I want to use Momentum as much as we can, but we need to implement this and that in order to implement. So we had a few weeks to basically to create onboarding, so all the stuff that we created. And it worked well. And I showed during the first day of bootcamp, and it's even like worked without bugs, which was surprising for me too. But yeah, it was like a kind of big preparation for bootcamp, and it's cool that it worked. During the program, I was in contact with like most of the founders. They pinged me and asked about like, can you do this and that? And we did small customizations or like bug fixing. One thing that I discovered on the first day that a page is a landing page builder. It was designed to be only used by a single person, but we had two startups with two co-founders. So immediately we faced a challenge to allow them to edit it like simultaneously. And it was a quick hack. It worked like the same day, but it still needs some work in order to, work properly. People like to customize colors, but it's simple operation. Like they think that like let's change colors, but I found that we probably will need to restrict that to have really great color schemes and to avoid like really ugly or not readable text. Because I don't know if you remember this MySpace era when everybody was creating this crazy website. So yeah, it can turn this way. So we probably will double down on limiting options rather than allowing to do everything, like to keep up opinionated.
Right. I guess there are some people that would enjoy that sort of vintage Web 1.0 look to their page, but not for all startups, for sure. All right, so we're going to move forward then and do something similar for the batch 2 of the bootcamp, which is coming up soon. Are there any changes or updates to Momentum that you'd like to make ahead of that?
Yes. So now basically standing again. We're planning some challenge to make again to set some deadline for Momentum and to make it fun to use and onboard more people and so on. So it will likely change Bootcamp a lot if everything works well and we can actually execute in time. But for now, the plan is to onboard startups directly to Momentum the next time we do Bootcamp. So it will be a kind of prep Bootcamp. And the goal of the prep Bootcamp will be to post daily in social networks, likely to record weekly updates, all async. So it won't be like some calls. People will just record their progress and post to Twitter and LinkedIn. And startups who will participate, they will need to add a script to their website or use our landing page builder so everyone see how many views their website has and how many signups did they get. So we have a competition and everyone will be able to see like what startup performs like the best way, and they can open their feed and just see like why they perform this way to learn from them. So ideally we want to implement this on Momentum. So we have like a lot of startups competing to be first, and we give them some prize and also invite them to join actual bootcamp after that. The way how we see bootcamp will probably change. It all depends on Victoria and Chris' decision, but I think the goal of bootcamp will be to get first sales. So, sorry, it will make the process even more funnier. So everyone who joins bootcamp, they will need to sell their product even without having a product during 1 month. And only after that, once who solve the product, we'll make them an investment opportunity and we'll invite them to join Accelerator. So basically, we're lowering our chances of risk and giving a lot of more startups opportunity to grow even without our help on the platform with other founders, but also they can join our programs after that.
Very cool.
I know how difficult it sounds. I like to mix a lot of difficult things, so sorry for that.
Yeah, it's all right. So basically, we're breaking things down into 3 distinct stages, and the founders that do the best job from start to finish will obviously leave with an MVP and a really great audience, I assume, and already have paying customers to go on and raise their next round or bootstrap their way to startup success.
And it's a tough challenge. And again, if we compare like what we had 2 years ago, I was super nervous and I didn't know how we can handle like 2 founders. And now we're talking about like 50 plus like founders, how to engage with them, how to make them comfortable using some digital platform, how to make this digital platform work. So it seems we're growing.
Right. Awesome. Well, it seems like we're rolling it out in stages to founders that we already attract to the bootcamp or to something else. But I'm curious, do you have any plans to like do a product launch or anything like that?
Yeah, we probably will need to. So we were thinking, I'm working now with Vladimir. It's a new like social media manager for Momentum, and like what we discussed, I really like what challenge can we like take, like what challenge can Vladimir take and I take, can Momentum. So we always have some goal and interesting story to tell in public. So we didn't know what this challenge should be. One of ideas is, by the way, to reach to Naval Ravikant. It's like a big investor and the guy whose philosophy I appreciate. So Naval, if you're watching this video, you know what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure Naval was one of our first subscribers to Ship It and Sip It.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll need to make a clip out of that. Definitely. So Naval, pick me in Twitter. I'll tell you more about Momentum. Okay, so that was one fun challenge, and I think we'll take it probably later. But now, when we have like this deadline to start in May to onboard the startups to like bootcamp on top of Momentum, yeah, it will be like a big challenge. So I actually nervous about. So I don't know how to approach it. I don't know if we get enough startups and so on. But that's what is needed to upgrade, I think.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap up, I guess, with some tips that you have for the founders. I guess maybe these are things that you may have told the founders in batch 1 of the bootcamp, or things that they told you that they were struggling with. So in terms of staying consistent, you've mentioned several times that you like to post every day. Is that like the golden rule of building in public? How do you find it easier to do that?
Yes. One of my first advice would be to be consistent and to like to sign an agreement with yourself to follow the schedule. It can be not like every day, like post every day, but it can be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. But what it means, you have deadline again. You have some task that you will definitely execute. It's not something that you will skip. It's agreement that you will follow. Because the magic happens like during this time when you don't want to post, don't know what to post, and when you overcome it, you become better. So it's my way. I know some people don't use like discipline, like or schedule, but most of the people use it, and I find it really useful too, as a basic tool to grow. So just post every day and try to become better every day, and you will become better every day. So that's the first thing. Then just try to post everything that you already do every day. Because for a long time, I was thinking, I had some work task and I did them, and I had a task to post a tweet in the evening, and I was thinking, okay, what should I post? And I was thinking about different things, and then just tweeting some shitty platitudes in the end. It's much better just to reflect and say, okay, what I did today, why I did it, what was like the best person that I met, what was the best thing that I did, what was the worst thing, and just to publish this like part of your actual life, like screenshots, I don't know, like photos of your team, like this is the guy that I love from the team. I don't know, just to show the reality of your life rather than like giving some quotes and platitudes. So that's an important thing.
Okay. Going back real quick to the consistency thing, do you have a specific workflow that works for you? I know some people set aside like on Tuesday morning, I'm going to write my tweets for the week or the LinkedIn updates for the week. And in these 3 hours, I'm just going to create my public feed content. Or how do you do it?
Yeah, I don't have a system, so that's something that I need to learn. But I have some like tricks, I can, like when I understand that I'm running out of ideas and I need to prepare like more, I can like, the key to everything is focus. So the more focus time you block, the better. But better, like the way how it works, like, okay, I'll block 1 hour of my time and the goal will be to create as much ideas as I can without like polishing them, just writing them down. And so like in 10 or 15 minutes, you just get the full focus and you just starting writing all this stuff. You're thinking like what happened, you're thinking about conversation you had, and you prepare a lot of things ahead. But I don't have it like every Monday or something. It's too messy for me.
Okay. Well, I look forward to talking with our wonderful colleague, Lena, about her system for creating content because she's killing it on LinkedIn right now. So, and she has been an advisor to the founders that went through the bootcamp and will go through the next one as well. So last question I have for you though, before we wrap up, is there a specific type of content or format that you would like to master or try to improve at next? Video, TikTok, long form blogs?
Yeah, it's generally speaking, it's YouTube. So I'm moving the next Saturday to Krakow, to Poland, and I already plan to do some small YouTube studio there. So I don't know the exact type of the content. Probably it will be talking heads about momentum, demos, and so on. But I also want to practice more like visualization of thoughts, like telling the story and like drawing it like with some symbols, like something useful and creative. So that's another thing that I want to try.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to seeing Igor's YouTube channel grow and prosper with new ideas and helpful content. So I guess we should give people the web page for Momentum before we wrap up. So you've changed the domain several times and it's hard to keep track. So what is the site to check out Momentum?
Yeah, and everyone hates domain name, and it's something that we'll need to change. And so let's try. So I never pronounce it like this. How awkward it will be. So the domain is mmntm.build. It's like momentum without vowels, right? Yeah, but everybody say that, man, it's URL is ugly. Try to pronounce it. You will sound like you have something in your mouth, like something wrote that. Yeah, so likely we'll change it to have a full like momentum in it. But for now, it's mmntm.build.
All right. I will put the link in the show notes for the show and we'll share it with everyone as well. So in the meantime, follow Igor on Twitter, on LinkedIn. You'll find out all about Momentum and what's coming up for batch 2 of the accelerator, of the bootcamp, and then the accelerator this summer. Thank you so much, Igor. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye.